Judith Polgar is able to win every man in our planet, and of course every woman. And in this particular game I show you one of her victims, Viswanathan Anand. So Polgar with white pieces start the game with e4, now we have c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4 by Polgar, Anand replied knight to f6, knight c3, a6, and between almost all of these variations, white have a lot of variations, different variations here. He chose bishop e3, and now we have e6 and g4, try for something like Keres attack, Scheveningen Keres attack, and we have e5, try to attack this knight on e5 immediately, knight f5, g6 and g5 by Polgar. You can see that the game is very aggressive already with a lot of attacks and counter attacks. We have G takes f5, sacrificing the knight, and Polgar didn't capture immediately on f6, but he recaptured with the e pawn. E takes f5. We have d5. Of course, black should give this knight, because if he doesn't do it, white have a fantastic compensation for his position, for his sacrificed piece. We have d5, queen f3, and d4. Now black is attacking the second piece. And Polgar played the theoretical move, long castling, and now black cannot capture either bishop or knight because the pawn is pinned, because behind it is the queen. So we have knight b2 d7 and now bishop d2. Okay, Polgar offering another piece, and we have d takes c3, bishop takes c3, bishop g7. Again, it's okay to give one of the pieces because black doesn't have any good development. His king is in the center, and white have a fantastic compensation for the sacrifice pieces. And now Polgar continue with the rook to g1, short castling, and finally g takes f6, gaining one of the two pieces back. Now we have queen takes f6 and queen e3, a very nice move, and the idea behind it is not very obvious. For example, if we give the move again to white in order to understand what is threatening, we can capture on d7, and after bishop takes d7 we can capture on e5. Queen cannot recapture here because we can capture the queen, and this bishop is pinned. This was a difficult threat to spot queen e3. For that reason, Anand played this move king h8 in order to unpin the bishop and protect the pawn. Now we cannot do the same thing, because if we capture here, bishop takes d7, capture, the bishop can recapture on e5, and black is winning here for sure. For that reason, Polgar didn't capture on d7 of course, but played f4 in order to increase the pressure. The e5 pawn is pinned. For that reason, he would like to put more pressure there. Queen to b6, a nice move. He would like to free the queen and exchange some attacking pieces. And of course, when you would like to attack to your opponent, you should keep the queens on the board. And she played queen to g3. Now she is threatening checkmate on g7. Very straightforward. We have queen h6 in order to protect that bishop, and at the same time he would like to give a check here on f4 in order to exchange queens. What are you going to do now with white? It's a nice diagram position. You can pause the video, put this position in a real chessboard, take your time and think. And he played this amazing move, rook to d6. These moves are beautiful because he's sacrificing a rook in an empty square, right? And the idea behind it is to kick away the queen. For example, if queen dares to capture here the rook, then we can deliver this checkmate. This is straightforward, very easy to understand. The next move that we might calculate is this: queen takes f4. It was the initial position, but it's not good move because white here can capture the queen, and after this natural recapture we can deliver a checkmate in two moves. How to do it? We can capture here, this is a check, king g8, the only move, and now we have a lot of discover checks. For example, this is a checkmate, this is a checkmate, and bishop can move anywhere, for example, and deliver the checkmate. But you should not move it on h8, because if you did this one, then the king can recapture the bishop, and this is a terrible mistake. So after this amazing move, I'll take one breath in order to understand it. It's rook to d6, a beautiful move to see. Anand, what to do? He played this move f6 in order to close some lines, and now we have bishop to d2, defending against this pawn. And now we have e4. Anand himself would like to keep these double pawns here in order to keep the position a little close and then develop the remaining of his pieces. Now we have bishop to f4 by Polgar, b5 attacking this bishop, and bishop e6 increasing the pressure against the knight on d7. And now Anand play rook a7. Now we have a very elegant move. Of course, you are very welcome to try to think again what are you going to do. It's a difficult move. It's white's turn, but the move is difficult. And he played rook c7. This is a very nice and very precise move by Polgar, because if she just played bishop to e3, then the rook can go on c7, and now, okay, white is better, but black has some counterplay. For that reason, she is not in a hurry. She played rook to c6, putting the rook in the c file, and after that she will thread the rook on a7. Now we have a5, bishop e3, rook b7, and bishop d5, eyeballing this rook here. This is the idea. And for example, we have a tactical shot here. If we had the move with white pieces, we can sacrifice the rook on c8, and after rook takes c8, we can capture on b7, and this is material advantage for white. It's a pawn up. For that reason, here Anand played rook to b8. We have rook c7, b4. Try to do something, b3 to stop everything. Rook b5, and now bishop to c6. Rook takes a5, capturing the pawn, and now black has a complete knight. Right? It's a knight up. Clear material, but again, it's a nice diagram for you. You can pause the video and try to think, what are you going to do here with white pieces? And the best move is to capture the bishop, removing this defender, capturing a piece, a bishop, and after this recapture, white can recapture another piece, a free piece on d7, and now he's going to gain back the exchange, attacking the two rooks, and after, for example, rook to c5 in order to protect the rook, he captures here, bishop, rook takes f5, and now we have rook d1. Polgar is threatening a deadly check here because the king is very vulnerable. We have king to g8, and now the final move on this game is queen to g2. What to do now? And after, for example, queen to g6, we can capture here on e4, and you can see this rook is extremely passive. And for example, after something like h6, we can increase the pressure against this rook because the queen is pinned here, and we can win the game. And we don't have a lot of alternatives here. For example, if we play something like that, we have this deadly pin in the file, right? We cannot move our pieces easily. If he tried to escape, for example, then we can deliver a checkmate. How to do that? We should give a check, and now the things are very difficult. For example, after that, we have bishop to c5. You can see how white pieces is attacking. The king should go out, for example, here on e8, and now we can deliver a checkmate with the queen. This is a checkmate. This is an illustrative variation, but the key points of this game is here when Polgar found this amazing move, rook d6. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic move to sacrifice the rook in an empty square. This is the first critical moment, and after that we have this tactical position, and Polgar didn't miss his tactical opportunity. She captured here on c8, and after rook c8 he recaptured here. And this was all about this game. I hope you enjoyed it. You are very welcome to click the thumbs up button, and see you soon. All the best.